This tool helps you refine your search before screening begins so you are not wasting time with the wrong studies. A good search string is not just about adding more keywords, it is about choosing the right terms, using synonyms carefully, and keeping the search balanced. If the search is too broad, I may collect too many unrelated records. If the search is too narrow, I may miss studies that should have been included in the review. So in this video, I'm going to continue inside CitedEvidence and show how to review the comparator, outcomes, sources, and filters before running the search. In the previous part, I focused mainly on the population and the intervention. I looked at different ways researchers may describe chronic lower back pain, and I also looked at different terms for telehealth-based physiotherapy, such as telerehabilitation, remote physiotherapy, virtual physical therapy, and digital rehabilitation. Now I am going to continue by looking at the comparator, outcomes, sources, and search filters. First, I look at the comparator. My comparator is usual in-person care, standard care, waitlist, or home exercise advice. For many systematic reviews, the comparator does not always need to be heavily used in the search string. This is because many research databases may not clearly mention comparator terms in the title or abstract. A study may compare telehealth physiotherapy with usual care, but the words usual care may not appear clearly in the title. Sometimes the comparator is only explained later in the full text. If I force too many comparator words into the search, I might accidentally remove good studies. For example, if I require every paper to mention usual care or waitlist in the search results, I may miss studies that are still relevant but describe the comparison differently. So for this part, I may keep the comparator as a screening rule instead of making it a major search term. That means I will not depend on the search string to find only studies with usual care. Instead, I will check the comparator later during screening. This keeps the search flexible while still allowing me to apply the review rules later. Now I look at the outcomes. My outcomes are pain reduction and mobility improvement. Again, I need to be careful. Outcomes are important, but if I make the search string too strict, I may miss studies that measured pain or mobility using different wording. Some papers may use the word pain, others may say pain intensity. Some may focus on physical function, disability, range of motion, or quality of life. And finally, it could include outcome terms like pain, mobility, physical function, or disability. This may not be the final perfect search string for every database, but it is a clean starting point. The goal is not to make the search perfect on the first try. The goal is to create a strong structure that I can review, adjust, and improve. Now inside CitedEvidence, I review the suggested search strings carefully. This step matters. I do not want to blindly accept everything without reading it. The tool can help generate the search logic, but I still need to think like a reviewer. I want to ask myself, are the terms too broad? Are they too narrow? Are there missing synonyms? Are there words that may bring unrelated studies? Are there important terms that should be added? Are there terms that may make the search too restrictive? For example, if I only search physical therapy, I may get many in-person therapy studies that do not involve telehealth. But if I only search app-based therapy, I may miss studies using video calls, online programs, or remote rehabilitation sessions. So the goal is balance. I want the search to be broad enough to find useful studies, but focused enough that the results still match the review question. For a proper systematic review, I usually do not want to filter too aggressively at the beginning. If I set the minimum citations too high, I may remove newer studies that are important but have not had enough time to collect citations. If I require an abstract, that can be helpful because screening without an abstract is harder. The abstract gives me enough information to make an early decision about whether the study may fit the review. Now I am ready to run or prepare the search. The important thing here is that CitedEvidence is not searching randomly. It is using the structure I already built in the eligibility criteria. This is why the previous video mattered so much. If my population and intervention were vague, the search string would also be vague. But because I clearly defined adults with chronic lower back pain and telehealth-based physiotherapy, the search can be more focused. Once the search is formed, the tool can begin retrieving records from the selected sources. These records are the papers, studies, or trials that may be relevant to my review. At this point, I am not saying all of them are included. This is only the identification stage. Later, I still need to remove duplicates, apply filters, screen titles, and abstracts. and decide which studies actually belong in the final review. This is also a good place to explain the difference between searching and screening. Searching is when I collect possible studies. Screening is when I decide which studies actually match my review criteria. A paper may appear in the search results because it mentions telehealth and back pain, but during screening I may find out it is about acute back pain, software design, or does not report the outcomes I need. That is normal. The search is meant to gather possibilities. Screening is where I make decisions. So let me recap what I did in this video. I moved from eligibility criteria into search strings. I reviewed the comparator and explained why it may be better to use it during screening instead of making it a strict search term. I reviewed the outcomes and explained how terms like pain, mobility, physical function, and disability can help guide the search. Then I looked at the sources, including PubMed, Semantic Scholar, OpenAlex, and ClinicalTrials.gov. Finally, I explained why selection filters should stay simple at the beginning. The key idea is this: CitedEvidence helps me turn my review question into a real search strategy, but I still need to review the terms and make sure the logic makes sense. In the next video, I will move from searching into screening and tracking. I will show how the Prisma diagram helps me understand how many records were found, how many duplicates were removed, how many were filtered out, and how many studies moved forward.